preferably the Edomite nation. And if you could actually come back from the dead to realize this is what has happened. Because we read in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And we read how they opened up the Bible and painted their images in it. I just showed you how the Bible's true. Just what they did. And we read more about it now. They tell you in Revelation, the first chapter, 13th verse, Son of Man, gives you a description of him. So he had hair of wool and feet like an fine brass of it burned in a furnace. Very, very dark skin when he came in the flesh. But they got him as an Edomite. While people think that they're going to come back and redeem them. So why is it that somebody that's going to take office now going to redeem us from our condition that we in? Why haven't we had any type of relief from our oppression if they're the ones going to redeem us? We read, well, that's for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Shai, they have not known it. Known is past tense from this point that we in now until the time that salvation and righteousness is coming on this earth. They never going to know this. As it is written. That's why he took out where the worms never die and the fires never quenched. Because they don't want to hear that. They don't want to feel that. That's the judgment. How to get rid of evil spirits. Why is it taken out? By fasting and prayer. Why is it gone? Why is it not there? Because they don't want you to cast them out. See, you understand and overstand. Devil means deceitful and evil person. Satan is enemy, adversary, or foe. He said, all shall be thine if you do what? Bow down and worship me. So how can they serve the Most High and serve the devil at the same time? He showed them all the kingdoms in the moment of time in Matthew 4 and 5. In Luke, the 4th chapter. It said, all should be thine if you do what? Bow down and worship me. So that's what they've done. But the people, the average person don't understand that because you're so caught up in this deep spirit of darkness, of ignorance, confusion, not understanding what is written here. It's sad, but it's true. That's why the Most High call us sottish children, silly and dumb and stupid. Going back to Wisdom of Solomon 14. And we all are silly and dumb and stupid on some aspect. We know in part, we prophesy in part. But some of you have went overboard in these religions that all stem from the Catholic Church and being confused to the utmost. Because you don't know this Bible. You don't know what it's talking about. You are joined to them in mind, soul, and body. As they would have you to be, that's what you are. I went over the religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America. How they program us to think. But well did they not know. And the Willie Lynch letter is working all the way into now. But you got brothers and sisters and children that are listening to this truth and learning this truth. They're learning, they're living and applying in their life right now, more so than ever. And getting ready for the kingdom to come. Preparing themselves for this. There ain't nobody going to stop what it is that's written in this Bible. Because you going to find yourself in a fight with the Most High. Understand, overstand this. Acts 5:38. Because some of you might not believe. Y'all might think, oh, I don't believe in that Bible. But you hear what's being said. Make it mean something different. Go through these scriptures, make it mean something different. Acts 5:38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. It's a warning from the Most High. Because we bringing forth this truth in these last days. Everybody should take time to listen and want to be part of that remnant of those that you're going to save to be either of the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, or you're going to be a remnant of all these nations. Because what you doing now, you ain't no more than a slave now. With your name in all capitals, letters. To the system that you live in now. No matter where you living at. Why, when you work, they take theirs off the top. Boop. Give me that. They get theirs off the top. If you want to think you going to do something that's going to not give it to them in the end, you're going to end up owing them. You're going to give it up one way or another. They don't play that. They get theirs from the top. So it's going to be a different, but that's why I say people can't understand. You should understand a righteous kingdom. We ain't talking about wickedness like you see now. Ain't gonna be no men with men and women with women and boys being girls and girls being boys and eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster and all that stuff for us. We're gonna be righteous. They say we all gonna be righteous when we follow the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws to the T. The Mashiach Shai gonna show us how to serve the Most High in righteousness if we're blessed to be able to make it. The Most High will. Listen. Acts 5:38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of man, if you think this of man, it will come to naught. It's going to come to nothing. For all that you've heard, even in this lesson. And in the men that's bringing forth the truth in these last days. If it's not of the Most High, if it's of men, it's going to come to naught. It's going to come to be nothing. But it's a condition, and if is a condition. It be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. You cannot overthrow it. Your hand's too short to box with the Most High. You cannot overthrow it, lest happily you be found even to fight against the Most High. You ready for that? You better understand Isaiah 29:6, just for a little starters, just for a little something. Listen. Stop this. Isaiah 29:6. Since you say you're gonna be found to fight against the Most High. Isaiah 29:6. Let's give you a little example of the Most High. Thou shalt be visited of the Most High of hosts, Most High of armies, with thunder. Man, I've heard thunder so loud, it shake. Cars be shaking. Car alarms be going off. And your butt be sit still. That lightning come, hear that crack of that lightning, and that thunder coming so loud, you sit still. Cars pull over. See, a lot of y'all don't know about no thunder like that. Especially on the West Coast, you ain't no thunder like what I'm talking about. Like deep down south and under the what? Shoot, man, you better understand. The East Coast be thundering. He said, thou shalt be visited with thunder and with earthquake. You ready for that? Or you can stop an earthquake. This also be visit of the Most High of hosts, Most High of armies, of angels, with earthquakes and great noise. Hear that great noise? With storm and tempest. Stop this. If it's of the Most High, you're going to find yourself in a fight with the Most High, against the Most High. With storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Because the Most High is fire from his waist up and from his waist down. He's fire. He said, the flame of devouring fire. That's why you better behooves anyone to hear my voice to understand and overstand what it is that and who it is that I'm talking about. The Most High. And the Mashiach Shai told us in St. John 10:30, I and my Father are one. We just read about he's coming to judge and make war. How? Under the power of the Most High. Fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. So now, going back to Wisdom of Solomon. I digress. 14. Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles, for all the gods of the nations are idols. Psalm 96 and 5. Shall there be a visitation? The Most High just said, hey, you're going to be visited of the Most High. Because in the creature of the Most High, they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare, a trap to the feet of the unwise. See? Set themselves up to be the Most High. Set themselves up to be a Mashiach. Set themselves up to be the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Set themselves to be everybody, except for who they are. Listen, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. See? The devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Going against the Most High. Law, statutes, commandments. And the inventions of them, the corruption of light. You're being corrupted in your life. Because you don't have nothing to go by. That's why it says, Hosea 4 and 6. Hosea 4 and 6. Corruption of life, right? Hosea 4 and 6. Hosea 4 and 6. My people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. So you reject this knowledge, most I say you're going to be a bunch of rejects. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. Forgotten the law of the Most High. I will also forget thy children. And see, you understand, a lot of those that are on this earth right now are the children of those that's saying that we ain't under the law. A lot of their children now are living, they've gone, but they taught their children that we're not under the law. We're under mercy and grace. We Gentiles. We got speaking tongues and no interpreter, and you got to be filled with the Holy Ghost and so forth. And run around the church like a chicken with his head cut off, hooping and hollering and screaming like that's the Holy Spirit that's bringing all things back to remembrance. Something wrong with that picture. That never set right with me. Listen. For neither were they from the beginning. Hear that? Neither shall they be forever. See, it wasn't from the beginning. Said neither shall they be forever. Listen. For by the vain glory, worthless glory of men, they entered into the world. And therefore shall they come shortly to an end. They're going to come shortly to an end. Because everybody going to reference the Most High. Listen. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, the father, let me show you, he's prophesying about this man here, that's on the end right here, Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI of Rome, right here. There's only 5 people in this picture. Let me point them out to you. That's Rodrigo Borgia, Pope, that's what he's talking about. This father is him. Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI of Rome. That's him right here. That's him right there. That's him right there. Same man. You can get your last number picture, original by Leonardo da Vinci. That's Jesus Christ, as they call him. The white man right here. That's him right there. That's him right there. That's him right there. And that's him right there. This is his brother right here. That's his brother right here. That's his brother right there. Right there, right there, and right there. 4 times in there. Caesar Borgia's in there 4 times. His brother's in there 4 times. Here goes, and his father's in there 3 times. So how many is that? Here goes his mother right here, Caesar Borgia. That's him sitting right there. Here goes his mother right there. And here goes his sister sitting beside him, Lucretia. 5 people in this picture. How come they're not pointing this out? How come it is that the Most High showed me this and y'all not pointed it out? Years and years ago. Say a picture worth 1,000 words. Why are you not pointing this out? What's wrong with y'all? There's 5 people in this picture. How you love them and you're going to let that go on and on and on and on? You can go on Showtime, on YouTube. Y'all be watching YouTube and you watching me on YouTube. Put on the Borgias, Borgias. The Borgias. It's 5 people in that family. You know what they call them? I just showed them to you. The first crime family. And that's what y'all believing in. Sad, man. So listen. Here it is prophesied in the Bible. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning when he hath made an image of his child. Because Caesar Borgia died before Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI of Rome. He made an image of his child. We just seen him. Here goes another one. An image of his child. There he is right there, Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia. They got White Mary and white like him being a baby, and White Joseph. Lies. Listen. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, because he died before his father, Caesar Borgia, when he had made an image of his child, Caesar Borgia, that's still in our people's houses, in our churches today, and in their minds when they pray, soon taken away, meaning he died, now honored him as a god unto this day, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus in process of time an unrighteous custom grown strong was kept as a law. You hear that? Kept as a law. And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, like Caesar Borgia's image, whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. So they couldn't honor him in the presence because they dwelt like way over here in America. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far. So they took the counterfeit of his image, his facial image of his body from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he were present. Flatter Pope Alexander VI of Rome, Rodrigo Borgia, his father, as if he was present right there with them. Okay? Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorance, not knowing the confused, to more superstition unto this day. Superstition. I mean, it's some kind of hocus pocus on this picture. How come you ain't never looked at this picture and seen there's the same people in there? 5 people in that picture, representing 13 people. Same people drawn over and over again. Why ain't you seen this all this time? Better ask somebody. For he, peradventure, or perhaps willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion, the resemblance of Caesar Borgia to the best fashion. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god. Took Caesar Borgia now for a god. Took him now for a god. The one in the middle right there. For a god. Which a little before was but honored as a man. And this was occasion to deceive the world. Remember what it said? Psalms 58:3. Came out of the mother's womb, do it, speaking lies. Revelation 12:9. Deceive the whole world, right? And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, all the way back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. See? He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. They're right here, working with Satan, the devil, the dragon, the beast, Esau, the Edomites. That's what they're doing. So it says, which is Solomon 14:21. And this was an occasion to deceive the whole world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name, Caesar Borgia. Only they call him Jesus Christ. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High. Remember, as for the way of the Most High, we in the Mashiach we have not known it. That's in the end. They erred from the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. Peace. When they shall say peace and safety, there's sudden destruction come upon them. That's them plagues that the Most High put upon them. For which they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously. That's why I say you got to look at that series on Showtime called The Borgias. You can Google it up on YouTube. That's why they call them the first crime family. But either one slew another treacherously, or grieved him by adultery, sleeping with his woman. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, righteous men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, men being women, women being men, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness, wickedness. For the worship of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. And I showed them to you in the Bible. And people don't have to look at them. That's what they see in their mind. For either they are mad when they be married, or prophesy lies. That's why the Most High said, you ain't gonna be no priest to him. So they prophesy lies. They lies from the beginning. They come out of their mother's womb. Or live unjustly. They're not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Or else likely forswear themselves, for in so much as their trust is in idols. Psalm 96:5. For all the gods are idols. All the gods of the nations are idols, which have no life. Though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. I mean, they're not going to do anything for them. You look at Buddha, he just sit there and they put all kind of Twinkies and incense and all kind of flowers, everything. Just beat it right there. You got to move them out the way. or it's going to just mold right there. They can't do nothing. Whatever idol it is, it don't matter. Howbeit, for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, giving heed unto idols. And the Israelites have done the same thing. But the Most High said, all you need is me. They want to be like the heathen and serve other idols. And also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. But it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punishes always the offense of the unrighteous. Now let's look at Wisdom of Solomon 15:4. For neither did the mischievous invention of man deceive us. So the mischievous inventions of man didn't deceive us. It didn't deceive us. Nor an image spotted with diverse colors, different colors. The painter's fruitless labor. The sight whereof entices fools to lust after it. So if you lust after that, you believe that you're a fool, he's saying. That's what it's saying in the scriptures. The sight whereof entices fools to lust after it. And so they desire the form of a dead image that has no breath. They desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things. Hear that? Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. Let you know, hey, most I say, hey, you worthy to have that just for you. Now I happen to have a picture. It's from the book Russian Icons by Father Vladimir Ivanov, Ivanov. The Black in Western Art, #3, by Harvard University Press. It says, Descent of the Holy Spirit, Moscow, Archaeology, Office of the Ecclesiastical Academy. Matthew 19, 26, and 30 they give. Now this is a picture from Russia in the Russian icons. And you can see those that have eyes to see, they're all men of color. You see that? From a book called The Russian Icons. I got a lot of these pictures laminated from books. You see that? All men of color. So, we have the proof from all over the world. From all over the world. And we must go into how he looked, since we really smashed in the fact that he was not looking like Caesar Borgia, so-called white man. Let's go to 1 John 4:1, first and foremost. Beloved, believe not every spirit. You can't believe everybody. But try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Many false prophets are gone out into the world. Everybody know you the spirit of the Most High. This is how you know the Holy Spirit. Every spirit that confesses that Mashiach is come in the flesh is of the Most High. You know what your flesh is? Pinch yourself. That's your flesh right here. So if he came in the flesh, then he had an appearance. Therefore, he looked like either he had melanin and pigment or he didn't have any. He looked like something or someone. He says in Hebrews 7:14, what is evident is the fact that our power, Mashiach sprang out of Judah. That's our forefather Jacob's fourth-born son. Now, Jeremiah 14:2 says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language, they are black unto the ground. So it's saying, hereby know you the spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesses that a Mashiach has come in the flesh is of the Most High. And every spirit that confesses not that a Mashiach has come in the flesh is not of the Most High. So y'all talk about he came on the earth, he was rainbow color. They got all kind of madness. It don't matter what color he is. But this matters. You ain't going against this. You ain't standing against this. That's a lie that we're going to prove is a lie. There's only 5 people in this picture. You ain't going against this. And you say you love him. Listen. And every spirit that confesses not that a Mashiach has come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of anti-Mashiach. You against him. Wherefore, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. So let's look how he look. Revelation 1:1. Revelation 1:1. Make it clear. The revelation or the revealing of a Mashiach Yahushua. Right? Jump down to verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. Talk about a Mashiach Yahushua, the revealing of him. Clothed with a garment down to the foot. So he had a long robe on down to the foot, and girded about the pass with a golden girdle. So he had a solid golden girdle around his waist. His head and his hairs were white like wool. So when I look at this picture, his head and his hair were white like wool. He got wool hair. Mashiach Yahushua had woolly hair. This man got straight hair. First strike. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, fully gray. Fully gray when he's seeing them. As white as snow. That's what it's saying. And his eyes was a flame of fire. Because it was prophesied in Genesis 49:12 that he would come, he would drink wine. You say the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say a man gluttonous and a wine bibber. Eyes was red with wine. But here we go, verse 15. And his feet, the feet is the color of your whole body. And his feet like unto fine brass. Brass is derivative of brown, as if they burn in a furnace. So it's very, very dark-skinned brother. You burn brass, it's going to turn very, very dark. And his voice has the sound of many waters. Strong voice. That's why he would go out of the ship and talk to people on the shoreline. Daniel had a vision of him also. Daniel's 10:5-6. Daniel's 10:5-6. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. That's that golden girdle he had around his waist. Let you know it's the best gold. Gold of Ophir. It says his body also was like the beryl. So I looked up beryl. If you have the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, I can find it. Well, I looked up beryl in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. A lot of brothers say beryl is green. His body not green. They trying to say that's a robe that he had on, but look up beryl.
He had a green garment on? It's like it.
No. I'm looking up beryl so you see what beryl means. I'm saying that's what brothers say. You know, but beryl, it says beryl. This definition I like, it say brown. Okay? Beryl, it says brown. So Daniel's seeing his body like the beryl. Looking up beryl, it says brown. Okay? we already got to have a description of his feet like in a fine brass if it burned in the furnace. So now Daniel's 10:6. His body also was like the beryl, which we just read the definition. The Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says brown, and his face has the appearance of lightning. So go to his face like the appearance of lightning. Go to Ecclesiastes 9:1. Ecclesiastes 9:1. Eight and one, Salakia. Ecclesiastes 8:1. Been a long time since I went over this. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 8:1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. Hear that? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. So a man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. That's why it says, and like you might, have a very intelligent child. You say, oh, he's very wise, or he's a bright child. You see, illuminating with the knowledge of his understanding of whatever it is that he knows. So it says, Daniel's 10:6. His body also like the beryl, which means brown, and his face has the appearance of lightning, meaning he was illuminating with his wisdom, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, because he drank wine in moderations. And his arms and his feet. So Daniel said his arms and his feet. Like in color, so color is in the Bible, to polished brass. We know that polished brass, when you go to Revelation, said, look like it burned in the furnace. So it would be a very dark-skinned man. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. Very strong voice. So that's him. That's why this picture from the Russian icons fits more of him being on the earth, and pictures being drawn of him and the disciples and the apostles and so forth, rather than the description that they have fooled the whole world and saying this is him. This is him right here. That's a lie. It's a big lie. So there it is. Let's go back to Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Verse 6. Jeremiah 30:6. Ask ye now and see, whether man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, Jacob's trouble, in pain, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. All is a certain number. So many people we done went through this. Joined into the way of the goats, way of the wicked, the way of this world. Not realizing that for you to be caught up in this world, James 4:4. James, the 4th chapter, the 4th verse. Ye adulterers and ye adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You want to be caught up in this world? Most High say, you fighting against him. You at war with the Most High. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? That means you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You keep that in mind. When you caught up in this world, you doing everything that you think is cool with the world. You got to be caught up with the world. That makes yourself be at war with the Most High. Remember, we read in Hebrews 10 and 31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. They already have been called. You've been called. So therefore, you got to conduct yourself a certain way and not get caught up in the world. To be at war with the Most High. You say you're going to be visiting the Most High. See, y'all don't understand this. If you do understand, then you got to change. That's what it's all about, changing. And it's not hard to say, 1 John 5 and 3 says, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep His commandments. Commandments are not grievous. It's not a hard thing. You can really enjoy this. All the way to the kingdom. This is something that should vex you. It's not grievous to do right in the eyes of the Most High. Men and women got to accept our culture, who we are, and how we lived. Against the grain, against the forces of evil, the wiles of the devil that's here to have you go to hell with them, be cast into the lake of fire with them. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You're at war with the Most High. Be a friendship with this world. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You're a friend of this world, you're the enemy of the Most High. Going back to Jeremiah 30. Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great. That day is great. So that none is like it. None is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. That's what we're reading about. That's where we at now, y'all. We've been in it. Time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. That's the good news. We are oppressed. We're going through all these changes, but we're going to be saved out of it. Yes.
I read a comment earlier on when Biden got elected. When Biden got elected, I had a brother saying that them police killings going to be higher than before because that police they undercover and all that right there. But even in my city, I was walking down the street, some Edomite at the cars were yelling at me. One Edomite screamed KKK at the car one time when my mom was walking from the grocery store. So it's getting real.
Yeah. They sent out a decree this weekend that said that they're going to be, initiating those that would get into the KKK and the Aryan Nation and so forth, all of them, of that sort of spirit by hanging us for initiation. So beware of that. Let everybody know that. So Luke 1 and 68. Because said we're going to be saved. Delivered is being saved from Jacob's trouble to the power of the Most High. It says, blessed be the Most High power of Israel. See, the Most High is the power of Israel. The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. For he have visited and redeemed his people. He have visited and redeemed his people, and have raised up an horn, which is the power of salvation